welcome back to my channel. I don't know when you'll be seeing this. I hope that I can be a blessing to someone else, and I hope that this motivates you guys to also, those of you who have an abundance in your stash, to also pass it on, to be a blessing to someone else in this time, because people are home and many are bored. So let's get to it. So I am sorry to whoever it was that I promised was not going to have to hear a voiceover for 3 nights in a row. But tonight's the third voiceover. I promise it's the last one. The thing is, I did forget that the sound, I didn't record the sound for this on my camera. I recorded it on Jimmy's, and it turned out that it was corrupted. So I apologize ahead of time. So I will just let you know what I'm doing. Tonight we're working on the closet. Last night and the night before, well, last night was fabric. The night before, we worked on basically that first major sort, where we sorted like items together. And now what I'm doing is I'm doing the purge and the reorganizing. So I'm purging and putting away at the same time. What I have, if you've watched my videos from the beginning when we redid this closet, is I have these Dollar Tree bins. They're black with the little white pom-poms on them, as well as 4 long rectangular wicker, not wicker looking, but sort of how like the Dollar Tree has the little baskets with the lids that look like wicker. Well, I have 4 large ones that I got from the Dollar General that look the same. And I have those 4 filled with these little black ones around it. And the one thing that I have done in a secondary video since is I took a long wicker basket that's lined. I have a set of, used to be on my dresser with the fabric, and now sits in the top of the closet and holds all of the canvases, the blank canvases as well as the canvas art. So what I do is, while I'm going to go through each one of these bins, some unfortunately are off camera. I was having a tripod issue and we were setting the camera without somebody sitting there, so you couldn't really tell that you couldn't see most of what was going on. So we apologize ahead of time, okay? So the first one that we did really quickly was established already as having the little tiny, like, they're called ornaments, but the little wood shapes that they have at the Dollar Tree. When they come out in the holiday season, they're referred to as ornaments, but when they're in the craft or square section, they're just called wood shapes. And basically, I have them by season or by liked item in Ziploc bags, and I have them lined up in that first box. This is the basket that I was referring to. It is so large that it doesn't even fit on my table. But what I have in the very, very back are the canvas boards. This is 11 by 14 canvas boards with the caulk sheets in front of them. Then I go canvas sizes. I always put large in the back, small in the front. And this way you can see everything you have. On the left are all of my wrapped canvas prints. A lot of them we use for DIYs, but some you can always give as gifts if you need be. But I really buy those for DIYs. So the next thing we're going to work on, and I will tell you that this is like a preliminary sort of situation that we're doing, is we're going to work on the like lamps, light fixture, miscellaneous twinkle lights and stuff like that I have. I actually had them into 2 baskets, but over the course of using them and not really replacing them because I had so much, I was able to dwindle them down to 1 basket. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. And then I'm reorganizing. I have a couple of different fairy lights that I was gifted that I ended up using in projects, which left a lot of space in this basket. So we got rid of some. We purged the crystals with the lights, the wet lights that sit in the bottom of vases. I never used them. I never felt like they were my thing. So I went ahead and I gifted them on. I did keep some crystal, plant flower clip crystal beads, but I moved them over to the floral section because I kind of felt like that's where they should go. I have tapers, as well as candlesticks and tapers and all the things, for different projects. But of course, all those little copper and silver fairy lights that we love from the Dollar Tree that we can find in the garden section from time. I mean, the craft sort of spring, what's it called? Spring garden section that they have like all the time, you know, that all the time spring section, if that makes any sense. I have the tapered candles that have the little candle cups in them, because we have a project that we're going to do hopefully this Christmas. I've had the project, I've had the tapers for the last 3 Christmases, and I really want to get to it this Christmas. So I hope these ones right there that I'm putting away, I hope and pray that I get to share this DIY with you finally. The problem is I don't have any place to set it up for when it's done to share it with you. So we're working on it. Jim and I are working on it. He promised me that we'll try to do something this fall. So that would be great. But what I'm just doing is going through everything. So that's the same thing I just encourage you. Look at each individual item. Yes, it does take a long time, especially when you have a lot of stuff. But you really need to be thoughtful and purposeful with everything that you're going to keep. Don't just keep it. I mean, I have a lot of sentiment, but don't just keep it because you bought it or because it was gifted to you. It shouldn't sit in your drawer and rot while someone else could be using it, could be making something wonderful to share with the world as well. Do you guys know what I mean? Yeah. And then I have some of those sort of battery-powered like light bulbs that were there. Right now they're just shoved on top, but they're actually going to be organized a little bit better, so don't go anywhere, than before we put the box away. What I think I decided to do was to sort of like, do I create another farmhouse basket? Do I just leave them on top? That kind of thing. So what I just decided to do is to fix them so that they laid flat, put the tall candlesticks in the back. I was kind of waiting because I wasn't sure if they'd fit, how they would fit on the shelf. But Jim said that he tested them out and they'll fit. And now what I'm doing for labels is I took these labels. I'm 99.9% sure that this pack of labels was from the Target dollar spot, but it's any paper chalkboard looking labels. These have black and white baker's twine on them. The Dollar Tree sells lots of labels now. They sell them paper just like this, which like they're round ones. They also sell ones that are heart-shaped, that are kind of like thicker. I want to say almost like a chipwood, but like a thick chipwood, as well as these really fun shapes of like almost frame-like shapes as well. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking the string and I'm tying it on the pom-pom. Basically, the pom-poms are each connected by a V of string, and I've just gone through the V right in the middle pom-pom, and I just hung it. They do flip over, but manually. They don't just randomly just twist over. And this way, if I need to change them, which I have since changed one of them, it worked out fine. Okay. Well, it turns out that they don't really fit very well with the paper cardboard, because he tested them without the basket and he was able to like lean them back, but with the basket and all the other stuff in there, they don't quite fit. So what I'm going to do is just take them out of the package. There's no harm otherwise, you know. For me as a DIYer on YouTube, I just make sure I have a photograph of it in the package so that you guys could see what it looked like when I bought it. That's all. So I make sure I take a picture of it, put them out of the package back in the basket, and then Bob's your uncle. Okay, so now the next one is kind of a mishmash, another kind of like random but not random glitter glue, some glue. And again, we're going to downsize. We're going to consolidate, and we're just going to give away a lot of things. So I'm going to end up making this into glitter and some beading things. Now the Dollar Tree had these really, really cute like pencil cases that came out in all of like gray and pink and blue back, I guess, the beginning of like maybe last summer, the beginning of school. And I just grabbed up one gray one and I thought, why didn't I not grab more? Who knows? That's me. I do that sometimes. I either grab too much of something or not enough of something else. It just happens. So what I have in here besides glitter is, if you guys remember, we made like a homemade snow paint a couple of Christmases ago. That's what's in that little, it's Dollar Tree's sort of like lock and lock type containers. I made some homemade chalk paint and then added some glue to it, as well as like little styrofoam beads, and it made like, and glitter, and it made snow paint. So it's really cute. And then I just took out everything that I was going to give away, put back whatever fit, made room for the beads. I bought a bunch of wooden beads for a really good price on Amazon. I know that I shared it before, and I will look to see if it's available again. If it is, I will link it in the description box down below, because I got like 1,000 beads for like $12 or something, and they were all different sizes. So what I ended up doing with them is I put them into this Dollar Tree sort of like mini shoebox. That's the only way I could think to describe these like little stackable storage bins. They're like mini shoe boxes. And the reason I mention it now is because this is one of those evolutions of storage organizing things. So those are the beads in question. They're in like a mini tackle box. That's how they were delivered to me. That's how they sell them. They came in this mini tackle box. I also got some beads from one of y'all sweet ladies. Sent me some of the wooden bead, like extra wooden beads. And then I was like, Jeri, we can do better than this. We can. So in the process of like buying storage containers, not knowing 100% sure what I was going to do with them, but I knew stuff would work, that's when we go ahead and grab up this mini shoebox. Now, again, with the labels, I will tell you that I like to start as close to the top as possible, and then I like to do almost subcategories if necessary. So this one is just going to say glitter, and then I'm going to wait. I'm going to add it in a minute to make sure that I'm going to put beading stuff in there, or am I just going to put wood beads? I really don't know. So it's kind of like, again, with the evolution of storage is also the evolution of labeling the storage. So now you can see that the evolution is going to continue. So if you notice that once I put all of those marbles, they're not marbles, these wood beads in the container together, you will see that I'm going to add little bags of colored wood beads that I thought, okay, so they're all wood, they should stay together. Then I found more, and I realized that I'm going to do something different with them at the end. So if you've been through my storage room, if my craft room storage journey, I guess it's the best way to put it, I have just different things that I use on a regular basis close at hand. And those wood beads that are from the Dollar Tree, these ones are also from the Dollar Tree, and they're different wood shapes. I was like, I don't want to mix them together, but I will keep them close to each other. So that's what I ended up doing. You'll see that at the end. But for first, I'm just like the Dollar Tree, not the Dollar Tree, the Amazon wood beads in the Dollar Tree container with the beads that was gifted to me. I feel like it was from Brenda. I don't want to misspeak, but that's who I think it was. But anyway, I just go ahead and I put everything in there. That's that pencil case I was talking to you about. What I decided to put in there were my tools. So if you've ever done bead jewelry making, you know that they have these little precise little pliers and crimpers and all these things. I put them in that little pencil case. It worked out really well. And under the flap, I tried to put like the spools of like cording and stuff. But what I ended up doing was adding these little tiny elastic things. And I know you don't see it here because I'm going to add it at the end, after the end actually. The Dollar Tree's little colorful wood beads came with these little elastic strings of their own. So when all is said and done and I put those other beads away, I'm going to put those little rubber bands at the top, in the top little portion of that pencil holder. And then I made a space for the beads. I made a couple of spaces for the jars of glitter. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the tools container right on top. And it's just an easy way to store things that you wouldn't think are like each other, but it ends up being like the front and back of this box. So it ends up working out really well. And then just organize whatever's left, make your label. Again, I'm just going to add beading things to my glitter label, and then I'm going to hand it off to my assistant. He's very helpful. Now for this particular label, I'm not going to do subcategories, but I will talk about them when we get to like the wood pieces and stuff. Especially when it has multiple boxes of the same thing, I like to be able to put in what's different about the two boxes. Now, I've been so blessed to have my best YouTube friend, Sarah Jane from Chic on the Cheap, gift me with another one of these little black boxes with pom-poms. I was only able to find 8 initially. This is my 9th one. So I was able to put like miscellaneous sort of things in there. They are like the little plastic pails, little out of shape no, not out of shape. They're like planters and like the pieces of the wire basket that are left over. Just things that you want to like be able to use for the DIYs, not throw away, but they don't really have a lot of like items. So I keep a miscellaneous tote in the cubbies and I keep a miscellaneous basket in the closet. Now, this is probably the most annoying to me part of the whole entire video because you're not getting to see mostly of what I'm doing. You get to see a little bit of what I'm doing, but mostly it got cut off, so I apologize. So all you really missed was me putting away wood stuff. Now, here's what I did different to my wood boxes. I had one that had sort of the new Dollar Tree wood items, the trays and the little flower, like the little picture frames and stuff like that. And the other one just had like older things, like old crosses that I was gifted, old wood pieces, pieces that had chalkboards on them and such. And the rulers and the wood pieces, and I really purged a ton of stuff. I knew that I wasn't going to use things that were gifted to me that weren't from the Dollar Tree. I just knew that I wasn't going to share those projects with you. Some had like a little bit of a sentimental value to it, but for the most part, I was able to just go ahead and make a blessing, be a blessing onto someone else. Everybody who gives me stuff basically tells me that anything you can't use, just to pass on to be a blessing to someone else. And because times were hard, I held on to things that I wasn't sure if I'd ever use. But then during this time when everybody just can't get out to the store and can't get craft items and are just stuck home with nothing to do but create, I wanted to go ahead and just pass it on and be a blessing. So what I ended up doing was one box has all of the rulers and all of like the sort of chunky, the Jenga blocks and the wood picture frames and stuff like that. And then like the ruler, like I said, the rulers, the dowels, all that stuff. The other one has all of those nice trays, crates, boxes, anything that's like new. The shaped, like the little unicorn that's shaped, a little rose that lights up that I recently purchased went into that box. So just so you can get an idea of how I went ahead and divvied it up. And for these two boxes, I did create individual labels just to say what was on each one. Actually, they're all individual labels. That was wrong. But what I did was I basically subcategorized them. That's what I meant to say. So all of that whole pile ended up being a blessing onto someone else, including whatever I had moved to the bag previously. But as I was going through those boxes, I just ended up putting a bunch of stuff on the desk. Now, if you notice, that was box labeled wood 2 and wood 3. Well, what we have down here, and I'm sorry, really sorry it's off camera as much as it is box wood 1. And what this is wooden frames. So they had these really great wooden frames, very farmhouse style, with like the plastic inserts with the house on it or the mermaid on it. There was wooden framed, different like wood look frames, as well, wooden box arts and stuff like that. I was putting in here this little box instead. But since, I will tell you, since this initial project this initial step of the project back in April, the organizing evolution continued, and we have since relocated it. But again, that's coming up in the next few days. You'll be able to see towards the final product, towards the reveal of the final product. The only thing I will tell you that I'm disappointed in myself for your benefit is I didn't photograph all the things that I gave away. Every day we were done working, we just loaded up the car, drove over to my friend's house, and handed it over. She was able to pass it on after she did her cleansing and stuff, because I just didn't want it to, to sit around and just wait for us to get more and more of it. So I was so grateful to be able to do that. But in the interim, I didn't take a giant photograph of all of the bags and boxes that we sent over. Now, I will tell you the reason I feel like why is, I don't know, do I feel like when you donate something, it does give you pleasure, but it's really never about you. It's about the person receiving, in my opinion. So I always felt like if brag isn't the right word. If I talked about how much I donated, it would just negate the fact that I donated anything. If that, I don't know, maybe it's my own craziness. Do you guys feel that way sometimes? If you're like, I don't want to be like it's braggadocious or whatever. I'm not bragging about all the stuff that I purged. Trust me. But I'm disappointed that I didn't photograph it because I know that motivates you guys. When you can see the final result of like all of that I gave away. And I realized after the fact, I find that very, very satisfying when I watch others purge. So why would I deny that of you guys? So I will tell you, as we go through the house, from this day forward, from this day, June or July 1st, 2020 forward, I will photograph the things that I'm getting rid of before I get rid of them for you guys. So that's that. So for this last part of this project for you guys for tonight, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I deal with all of these little wooden beads. Now, I know some people were able to find these just from the comments from when I hauled them. Some people have never seen them at all. But they're basically little wooden beads painted in pastel type colors. I think that the green is a little green. Or is it blue? No, it's green. I think the green's a little dark to be a pastel, but it's yellow, purple. Maybe it's supposed to be blue. I don't know. You guys tell me. I think it's green. But what I decided to do was, since I had so many, I was going to go ahead and put them in my mason jars. Now, let's go back for those of you who are new here. Hi, my name is Jeri-Ann. Is anybody get annoyed by that? I have a lot of things, but I love mason jar candles from the Dollar Tree. And I put them on my candle warmer, and then I always recycle the jars. I have those jars storing stuff all over my craft room and all in throughout my kitchen. If you're curious, as far as the kitchen stuff is concerned, I have replaced the lids. I don't use the lid that was on the candle. Though it is dishwasher safe, it's just not it doesn't necessarily have the seal on it. So if I'm going to use it for food storage, I go ahead and I replace the lid. But otherwise, I use these for storage. I have rubber bands in them and little notions, and all of these beads are going to go into like those little mason jars. Now, it is green that's dark. The blue is actually sort of a little bright. The purple is not too pastel-y, but it's not too dark, deep purple either. None of that is important to the video. I think the only thing that I failed to mention is that half of the beads are square and half of them are round. But I just left them with like colors. So I had 6 packs of beads altogether. Some of them were previously in Ziploc bags from previous projects. And then some were still in their packages. So what I did was I went ahead and I picked out just 6 mason jars and I just divvied them up amongst themselves. And then once I had each one in its own mason jar, I don't label these because they're clear and you can see exactly what's in there. Once I had them in there, I put them in this little DIY that we made on our channel, I don't know, like a year ago, whatever. They look really cute with other different little mason jars that I have available. And then this is just how the closet looks now. Everything's labeled. It's organized. It's beautiful. I love it. Hopefully you guys love it too. I hope that this motivated you even the slightest bit to go ahead and improve any of your living spaces. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family. Anybody who might be needing a little motivation and to purge some things that they can be a blessing onto others. And as always, you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.